On today's show, I'm going to finally get around to talking about season 2 of Lord of the Rings Rings of Power. Mike says he's going to review his favorite fun book of nostalgia, and it turns dark. Lastly, Pat says Halloween may be over, but busting always makes you feel good. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. I am your usual front man, Kevin, and we've got all the regular usual people as well. First up is Patrick.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. And then next, of course, is Michael.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hello, hello. And then lastly, Karen is with us today. Awesome. It's finally here, season 5. Who knew when we started this way back when that we'd make it this far, Mike, right?
I know, when you think back on how our first shows were just on our phone, no video, just audio, no format, just
yeah.
Crazy.
And then shortly thereafter, Patrick joins us. And then Patrick, did you know the legs the show would have?
Oh, I knew it deep down, Kevin.
You did? All right, first of all, I wanted to get into to everybody's favorite part of the show, which is the explaining part. So first of all, we're late. It's totally my fault. I'm sorry. Second of all, I said I'd have a new intro. I do have a new intro, but since I'm late, I didn't upload it. So that's why you got the same old intro. And then lastly, I was actually reading my teases on the spot. I didn't actually review them at all prior to action. And that's why I kind of lost my composure, because that was pretty hilarious tease there, Pat. Wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. So anyway, I don't know how many special things we have today besides for just us being here, but that's enough. Right, Pat?
That's right.
I didn't even ask you in the pregame either, Mike. Do you have a what we discussed with the in case you didn't know?
No, I started working on it yesterday. It was a lot of information to get through.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to pull it off this week, but I will have it ready for the next show.
Is it going to have something to do with Hulk 180? Is your
no.
your subtext a tease for?
No, not at all. I'll do a tease for it. It's about that squirrel.
Okay. The Green Lantern squirrel. What's his name again?
Chip.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's like, but I don't know. There's no I in it. It's just CH''P. It's weird.
Well, I think that's still how you would pronounce it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
All right. And then, Pat, I'm assuming Halloween, Twix is your favorite candy. Is that what your subtext is about?
Yeah, I think it's probably like my favorite mainstream, readily available candy bar. Yeah.
I would have said Reese's up until recently, but, I'm thinking I'm switching to be a Kit Kat guy. How about you, Mike?
We're a Reese's family, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup family.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twix, Kit Kat. I love Twix. Kit Kat's right up there. This is the thing. If it's covered in chocolate and it's got some kind of cookie in the middle, I'm eating it. it's really hard to rank them, but outside of number one being Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, it's hard to rank. Everything else is tied for second.
Okay, I'm totally interested in everybody's watching this show. What your number one candy is? Comment it below. We'd love to read it. Yeah, that's everybody have a good Halloween in general. I'm assuming though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did you actually get out and do some trick or treating,
did.
Mike?
Yeah, I took Mark. Cora's costume didn't really come together. It was just a lot more work than what she had anticipated.
She didn't want to just freestyle it.
Right. So I took Mark, and she sat back at the house and handed out candy.
That's definitely still participating. We kind of did half and half because there was a high school football game this Halloween night, if you can imagine.
We all met Mark. Mark wanted to go, and I was like, all right, you got to choose one or the other.
Well, we took Ayla afterwards, so we were out trick-or-treating up till 11 o'clock.
Wow.
It was a little nerve-wracking when you're knocking on the door because we were expecting that one person. What are you doing so late? But everybody was really nice. So just to let you know for the future, you can trick-or-treat up to at least 11 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
We were out of candy about a little over an hour after it started.
We finished the night. We finished the night with candy. We had a pretty good rush at first, but then it died. We didn't have anything after that.
Yeah, people drive to our neighborhood all down my street. Both sides were lined with cars. It's just insane. It was nuts.
That's a good neighborhood to trick or treat in. That's for sure. So
yeah.
All right, enough of the filler. We ready to get to what I watched?
Yeah.
For a new season. All right.
Let me see this.
What?
Oh, okay. Oh. That's what I've been working on. I forgot to change my.
That's nice. All right, like I told you guys, a little bit of an excuse. I was actually binging to get all the Rings of Power in. That's why I was up so late, and I was actually late for the show today. But we're not going to start there anyway. We're going to start with a couple actually animated. I asked that as a question mark, which I'll get to with my second one. But my first one is Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. It's a new animated series on Netflix. We are big Tomb Raider fans at my house. And, that dates way back to the original Tomb Raider on PlayStation for me. Love that game. I haven't played the latest ones. My daughter does, but I can really appreciate Tomb Raider. They seem to do it well all the time for me. You guys like Tomb Raider at all?
As a fan back in the day, I haven't played a modern game.
How about the movies?
I've never seen any of the movies.
Wow. Mike?
I used to watch Johnny play the first Tomb Raider on PlayStation.
Okay.
Because I don't like the games like that, where you get stuck in an area, you have to figure out how to get out of it.
That's fun.
I'm not good at those, but I love watching somebody that's good at it. And as you guys know, Johnny's really good at some video games there. So,
do you love watching actresses pretend to do that in movies as well?
I think I saw the movie once.
The first one?
Yeah, and I remember enjoying it, but
because there's 3 now. There's a new one. There's a modern day one. I think came out in 2020. I think
I saw something,
which is excellent. I think I reviewed it actually, which is it's pretty excellent actually. I was really happy with how they did it. It was actually a little bit better in my opinion, as far as realism is concerned, than what was her name back in the day?
Angelina
Come on.
Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie, yeah, better than the original Angelina Jolie ones. So anyway, on to this one. First of all, you can see it's on Netflix. Just came out this month. And the voice of Tomb Raider is actually Peggy Carter. What's her name? Haley Atwell.
Yeah.
Peggy Carter, Miss or Captain Britain. Is that what they call her in Scarlet Witch, right? And the comics. Oh yeah, Captain Carter, right? Yeah, Captain Britain's that other one that has the British shield. Right? He doesn't even have a shield. He's just his old outfits. The Jolly, what's it called? I'm all over the place.
Union Jack.
Union Jack. That's it. Thank you.
Say the Jolly Roger.
I was going to say. Anyway, so yeah, this is great voice acting. I like the writing a lot. The story was your typical Tomb Raider type. You can throw in kind of Raiders of the Lost Ark type stuff. But this one seemed oddly familiar to me, to none other than Infinity War, because she's trying to find these 4 jewels that when they're combined become the ultimate power. And of course, there's a baddie that's doing the same thing. And as he gets each jewel, it gives him a little bit, he's a little bit more powerful. And then, it cascades until the end. But this is a lot of fun. If you like Tomb Raider at all, definitely watch it. If you aren't even a Tomb Raider fan, but you just can appreciate some fun animation, kind of a serious take. It's got some funny stuff, but kind of serious animation. Check out Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft on Netflix. I gave it a solid 8.5 smiley faces.
Nice.
All right. And then the next one I've got is when I said animated movies, because it's CGI. Is that animated? What's the ruling on that, Pat?
Yeah.
So even if it's CGI, still call it animated?
Yeah.
As long as it's not live action. Okay, got it. Okay. So the name of the movie is Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. Also just came out on Netflix this month. Have either one of you seen this?
No.
No, I've never heard of it.
Well, you know Gundam stuff, right, Mike?
I know Gundam Style. I know that song.
It's exactly what my wife said when I asked her, do you want to watch a movie? She goes, what? And I'm like, it's called Gundam. And she's like, whoop, 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 whoop. No, not that.
Now I've got that song in my head.
Big, giant, bad butt robots. You know all about those, right, Pat? You know all about Gundam, right?
I do know all about Gundam. I think Valor would be interested in this too.
So, maybe not after I get through with this review. So,
Although that Gundam mech on the poster there looks pretty drab and boring compared to most Gundam I'm familiar with.
well, okay. So I'm not really familiar with like what you're familiar with Gundam. So I don't know if this has if it's kind of the same line or if it's just using the same line. Because has Gundam become like Kleenex to where, paper tissues you blow your nose with? Not all of them are Kleenex, but we call them all Kleenex. Is that how Gundams are too? To where if it's a big kind of robot, human piloted robot fighting machine, everyone calls it a Gundam, even if it isn't a Gundam?
I would say that's not the case now.
Okay. Is this how you spell Gundam? Because this spelling seemed odd to me too.
That's right. That's
okay.
Right.
All right. So anyway, I don't know why this Gundam doesn't look this. Well, actually, this isn't even the Gundam. This is just a big mech that's piloted by a human on the poster here. And you can see the young lady in the middle. She's the leader of the show. You get the most of her. And basically, this is a story about Earth fighting these people that are trying to take over Earth to get all its resources and stuff like that. And Earth is winning. And Earth actually has a Gundam. And I guarantee, I should have gotten a picture of this, but I guarantee if you'd see that Gundam, Pat, you would think, oh yeah, that's the Gundam I'm talking about. You know, it's totally sleek, fast, sword, shield, you know, kind of that, you know, typical Gundam head. This is kind of like steampunk Gundam. This one is, you know, which is, you know, definitely lame, which doesn't compete with the Gundams, like I said, you're familiar with at all in this movie itself. There's one Gundam, when it shows up, it basically wipes out like 10 of these in like no time, you know, because it's so much faster and so much more powerful. But the interesting part about this, and I'll get to the bad stuff later, but the interesting part about this movie is we're actually following her and her team, which they're actually, in my opinion, the bad guys trying to take over the Earth. So the Gundam and all the other forces they're fighting on Earth are actually the good guys, in my opinion, you know? So it was kind of a weird take in that part too. It's like, I didn't want to be their friends, but the show is like delivering, this is whose side you should be on to us with this, you know? And it looks cool. CGI is fine. These mechs are pretty cool. Like I said, Gundam was real bad, but too. But that's all I have to say that's good about this. The acting was horrible. The writing was horrible. The overall plot was horrible. This is not a good show. And this is a series as well. This has like, I think 6 episodes. This is called season 1. My prediction is it won't make it to season 2 because, man, I suffered. And actually what happened is I was having fun with episode 1 and 2 because I was dogging it the whole way through with my wife. But then she's like, I'm out of here. So then I suffered from 3 through 6 just to know what was going on, you know? So the ending's okay. But like I said, overall, there's very little good about this. So I'm going to give this 3 smiley faces, 7 frowny faces.
So in order to enjoy this, we've got to make your wife suffer through it so we can make fun of it.
You just have to be with somebody that's in the mood to make fun of something, because there's lots of funny stuff to make fun of in this, you know, so including the acting, which is just, you know, it's always amazing to me when voice acting is bad because it's like, it seems easier to me. Does voice acting seem easier to you, right?
I've always thought maybe it's a little bit harder because you're usually just standing in front of a microphone.
Right. You know, that's why it's easier. You don't have to be all animated and show expression on your face.
I don't know. There's no natural flow to it, though. If you're acting, there's a natural flow with your body movements and an interaction with somebody else, maybe. I don't know. That's just the way I always thought about it. It's like,
check this out, Mike. I'm going to act mad, okay, at what you just said, okay? Mike, what you're saying is ridiculous. None of it makes sense. Stop saying it, okay? Now I'm going to do it again. Mike, what you're saying is ridiculous. Stop saying it. That was way easier.
Yeah.
The question is,
I'm not even getting crickets this morning. Anyway.
Well, the question is, you had your camera off. Were you still motioning and gesturing while you said, "Oh boy"?
Yes,
I was standing just like this. I was sitting
almost. Oh yeah.
It's impossible for you to be that emotional. It's just that I've been way too long.
You might be right.
I heard your movements in your voice.
Okay, you might be right. All right, anyway, then lastly, I watched Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 2, and a few things about this. There's actually, I was wondering this after I watched Season 2, that there's actually going to be 5 seasons of this.
Wow.
You know what's so crazy about that to me?
What?
Do the math on that, right? Compared to all of Peter Jackson. Yeah, Peter Jackson, right? Yeah. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings stuff. Even the extended version, right? You got 18 hours tops, right? This is going to have 5 seasons of at least 8 episodes. There's going to be 40 hours of this, essentially, from what I'm hearing, because I'm not a Lord of the Rings purist, fan fiction, which I think, I think that kind of does Lord of the Rings a disservice. Obviously it's a little bit reminiscent of Star Wars, in my opinion. If you get so much, retro series and stuff like that take place prior to what we're seeing, it drowns out the OG because there's like so much less of the OG. You guys tracking with what I'm saying at all?
Yeah, I do a little bit, but I think the difference here, like this, I can definitely see where you're saying this could be fanfic because it's not based on anything that Tolkien had written. But Star Wars, I guess everything after, Lucas could be considered fanfic, right? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm saying when you get so much more of that than the original stuff, it dilutes the original stuff because people associate it to what that is because there's more of it. There's going to be 40 hours of this show, and we've only got 18 hours of all the other stuff we've known for 30 years now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Has it been 30 years? No.
Yeah,
I do, but for me, it's not going because I'm not watching this at all. So this isn't even a part of my world.
All right, cool. Let me follow this up. You might be surprised after everything I just said. What I'm going to say next is you need to watch this show.
We started season 1 and just we weren't feeling it.
Well, how far did you get? Did you get past episode 1?
Yeah, I think we got 2 or 3. I think we got first 2 or 3.
Really? Okay. I think that's about the time it really started to kick in for me. I can totally appreciate this is getting a lot of hate, and I can totally appreciate Lord of the Ring purists not liking this. I can totally relate to that with Star Wars, but not being a Lord of the Rings purist, I think it's actually pretty good. I think we talked about this before I can't remember the last time what we were talking about specifically the last time we talked about it, but I think the actors and actresses in the show are actually doing a disservice for the show with some of the things they're saying. So people are getting mad at what they're saying. They're getting mad at the show. I can't remember what we were talking about last time about that, but that's happening here too. But just watching this, not paying attention to any of that, not being a Lord of the Rings purist, I think season 1, I can't remember the exact review I gave it, but I actually rewatched season 1 to kind of get into the flow of season 2. And season 1 is really good. I definitely give that like an 8, 8.5. Smiley faces. I liked it a lot. Season 2 is not quite as good, but I feel like it might be the same thing too. When I get a season 3 and if I watch it all, I might appreciate season 2 more because while there's a lot going on, it doesn't really progress the story a whole lot. Like at the end of season 1, we finally find out who Sauron is because he's actually dying, or he actually died. And this isn't Lord of the Rings died. This is the OG, the beginning of time in the Lord of the Rings universe. Sauron died. And then he comes back in a different form. So he's kind of hiding just as a human for a while. And then we find out who he is at the end of season 1. So then season 2 starts. Now everybody knows who Sauron is. And the other thing that's happening is now that this lady on the Galadriel is the name of the character on the poster I'm showing right now. She's been convinced the entire time that Sauron is coming back. And am I saying that right? Sauron, right? Yeah. So she's totally been convinced the entire time that he's back. Basically, not that he's coming back, that he's back. He's not gone. And she's the only one that's believed it. So she's been like this. Everybody thinks she's crazy because she won't let it go. Because it's literally been centuries since the last time someone has seen him. So then when he finally reveals himself as to who he is, now everybody start gathering because the orcs are coming, goblins are coming. We got to start, preparing for this. And that's what starts the ball rolling with creating the rings. If for anybody who doesn't know, I'm sure I mentioned this to you guys if you remember or not, but this series is essentially covering how we got, how we got from the beginning of time to the beginning of Lord of the Rings, essentially,
Right.
and how all the rings were created. So in season 2, all we do is get all of the elf rings. Well, there's some dwarf ring action, but that's how it's going to do all the seasons.
Right. Okay.
But all the elf rings are made. Like she's holding one up. You can see in that picture too. I don't remember from the original movies too, the rings being so big. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. You know how they showed us that at the beginning, kind of in a snippet before Fellowship started? They showed us all the rings.
Yeah, I thought they were just more a ring, nothing
Exactly.
like a top or anything like that.
Yeah, she got like a big diamond on that thing,
Yeah.
And all 3 of them are pretty big. They're bigger than I remember them. But also too, this is very mature. This is very violent. I shouldn't say very mature, but it's definitely mature. It's very, very violent and gory. It's kind of left the other stuff out that can give it a mature rating, but there's plenty of that to be enough in this, which I was kind of torn about that too, because obviously Lord of the Rings, the movies are very graphic, but I wouldn't call them gory at all. You guys agree with that?
Right.
Yeah.
This is straight up. You get the same graphic violence all the time, but like some major gore. I'm not even going to describe it here, but you get like literal horror movie type gore in this movie or this series as well. So not for kids. The other one's
funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're trying to, you've got this destination point, which is Fellowship of the Ring, and you're trying to marry these two together to go right into that. It's so funny that they would be that graphic. It's like, it's not necessary.
Agreed.
Obviously, we've got, like I said, 18 to 20 hours of great filmmaking that doesn't need to be that gory and graphic. And you're trying to, that's poor choices right there.
I agree, man. I feel like it shows I'm going to say this right now to all the filmmakers and directors out there right now. You heard it here. Okay. I think you're a better director if you cannot have to rely on gore or violence or nudity or cursing to make your movie good. You just tell a good story and you have good acting. You don't need those things to kind of put it over the top, especially if you do it a lot and gratuitously. I think that's the sign of a much better actor director, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah. I've told you guys the story about Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I first saw it.
What?
My mom worked at a store and they had video rentals. So I said, can you bring this movie home for me? So she brought it home. My brother and I watched it. It's like, you must have got an edited version because there's no gore in this at all. And I never, I always thought it was, everyone's like, oh, it's such a scary movie. I always thought it was a gory movie.
Oh, you just assumed it was gory. Oh, gotcha.
Right. Yeah, but it wasn't. So Tobe Hooper had relied on just good filmmaking. He didn't rely on the slasher thing.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not a gory movie. It's terrorizing, but
right.
So there you go.
Then The Exorcist came out and relied on all those things I just said to be scary. Maybe that's why The Exorcist is considered the scariest movie ever, because it's got all those things, and I think it was directed well.
Does it have all those things?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to rewatch about the first half hour, and you'll be like, oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's not through the entire movie, but there's like 2 scenes, especially. They're like, okay, get all your kids off of the block because you don't want them around for this. So anyway, like I said, I'm fairly happy with the Rings of Power so far. I like season 1 better, but I still give season 2 a solid 7.5 smiley faces. Still not bad at all. I would just recommend all the people that are acting in it, just shut up and ignore the haters, let them hate, and then we'll all be ignoring them. We can all relate to that, right?
Yeah. So you're saying they say stuff like out on while promoting it and things like that, or just in interviews?
Yeah, exactly. They'll be saying stuff that just makes it worse in their interviews, and the round whatever the panels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They say stuff that just triggers people, you know, just does stuff. Just be what it is. And if people want to not like it because of what it is, so be it. But I think most people still would like it. So anyway.
Yep.
All right. That's all I watched, though. Hey, what's up, aggressively? Well, there's no hobbits in this one. This is the Rings of Power. This has the Bigfoot people. What are they called? Dadgummit, I can't remember any of the they're like hobbits, but they just have big hairy feet. There's no hobbits in this one. And they're all female instead of male on this one. All the and I meant to tell you this, Pat. Do you know anything about the origin of Gandalf?
I don't think so.
I thought this was kind of cool. Did you read the books?
Yeah, but it's been a long time.
I thought this was kind of gory. Or gory. I thought this was kind of corny. Still stuck on that. But anyway, at the end of this, there's this wizard the entire show you're assuming is going to become Gandalf. or I actually would have been disappointed. And spoiler alert, you don't care, right?
No.
I would have been disappointed if this wizard didn't become Gandalf because he's so similar to Gandalf that if he wasn't Gandalf, I'd hate him because he's like, oh, he's just copying off Gandalf. So I was hopefully assuming the entire first 2 seasons, that's Gandalf. But they're not calling him Gandalf because he pulls like a Superman and he rides a meteorite down in the ground. I don't know if this is real lore or not, but this is how Gandalf appeared apparently. A meteor crashes into the earth or Middle Earth and out comes a naked Gandalf and picks up a Toyota. No, he doesn't actually pick up. There's no cars in this, but he is naked and he does land on Middle Earth from a comet. So anyway, I don't know if that's real lore, but anyway, they come up with his name in the final 10. I might give this a 6.5 because I'm remembering how much I hate this now. In the final minute or 2 of the final or the second season so far. And this was very reminiscent of The Rise of Skywalker with Rey, with the whole lame, what's your name, Rey? Rey who? Rey Skywalker, I thought that was kind of lame. I don't know how you feel about it, Pat. But anyway, regardless, this kind of put me in that because so Gandalf is part of saving the day and all the Bigfoot people that are like hobbits are all like thanking him and walking out, and they all call him the Grand Elf. Okay. Thank you, Grand Elf. Thank you, Grand Elf. And he's like looking, why you call me Grand Elf? And then he goes to this guy and he's like, you need to come up with a name. And he's like, Grand Elf. Gandalf. So it's like, it was really weak. And I want somebody, if you know the origin of Gandalf's name and the origin of how Gandalf got to Middle Earth, comment below. Let me know. Mike, did you hear what I said about his origin?
Yeah, that's kind of cheesy.
Right. So anyway, I don't hate it because of those though, but those are really cheesy, corny parts.
Yeah.
No.
That's kind of like someone gets a nickname. Man, we used to work with the guy. And remember his nickname was Ducky at the warehouse.
At the warehouse. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think maybe his name was Doug or something. I can't remember what his name was, but his little sister couldn't say his name, and it sounded like she was calling him Ducky. So that's where he got that nickname. Because that's what it sounds like. It's like,
it's just kind of a morph of a name. No reason for it, just a morph from something else. Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's what I watched. That's what you get.
Well, based on that, maybe at some point, Emily and I will go back and start season 1 over again. We're right now we get stuck in these certain veins.
Yeah, I know how
we're watching. It's like true crime and stuff like that. And
yeah, I know. And let me give you a piece of advice too. And I think this is probably why I liked season 1 better the second time I watched it, because I think first time I watched it, I was like bagging board and comics or something. But the second one, I was really paying attention. The second time I watched season 1, I was really paying attention. There are a lot of They aren't exactly Easter eggs, but yeah, that's not even the right term to use. Just so many small things that are said that are important to know that if you aren't paying attention, you can miss them. You know, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, there are some Easter eggs in this too, by the way. But anyway, that's not what I was talking about when I said that. So, okay, that'll do it. Okay. Thanks, Karen. Thanks to the audience. All right, Mike, are you ready? You're up. What did you want to talk a little bit about this before we start the intro this time, or?
For Sorrow, I really like the art style.
Man, I wish I would have waited 1 second longer so I could at least hear you say at least one syllable. That was almost really good timing.
Yeah, I knew you were setting me up.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. 10 covers chosen from a list of 538. Jeez, that's a lot this week. These have a shelf date of November 6th, 2024. We'll
You've been doing this. You've been doing this for a long time now. What would you consider an average week? Like, what makes you think, oh, that's about right, and what makes you think, oh, that's a lot? Like, do you have an average thought?
Yeah. For me, over 500 is a lot. I think if it's in the 400s, that's kind of where I think it's, the mid 400s. I think is average.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and anything when you get over 500, to me, that's quite a bit.
Right. All right. Sorry.
That's right. All right. We'll start with Absolute Superman #1, Rafa Sandoval. Batgirl #1, Art Germ. Venom War #4, Chris Giruso. Sorry. Walking Dead Deluxe 100, Julian Tedesco. One for Sorrow #1, and this is a 1 in 50 variant, Junko Mizuno. JSA #1, Cully Hamner, and this is the instead of the Justice Society of America, it's the Injustice Society of America variant. So that's why it has the ISA on there. Avengers 20, Elena Casagrande. Something's Killing the Children 0. This is the 1 in 50 Jenny Frison variant, and they have the same cover in color. That's not a 1 in 50. I don't think it's a ratio. It's just a standard variant. X-Men #7 is the 1 in 25 Gleb Melnikov, and then Birds of Prey 15 Leonardo Romero.
All right.
What do you thought?
I say this was a solid, my opinion, a solid week. It was definitely easy to pick 3. There were a couple more possible options, but overall, I'd say this is about a 60-40 split on this one. I didn't think it was my favorite or the best, but I definitely think it was definitely good enough. That's for sure. What say you, Pat?
I had another troubling week of deciding my picks here. It was nothing really stood out to me this week again, but I picked 3.
So there isn't one that's the obvious winner to you again this week?
No.
I think there's an obvious winner for me, in my opinion.
Okay.
I thought there was going to be an obvious winner, and so what do you think for you, Kevin? What's the obvious winner?
Okay. Let me, and this is kind of a trick way. It's not trick, but this is, I'm going to say it in 2 ways, right? One, I think the obvious, if I'm looking at it from y'all's perspectives, winner would be the Absolute Superman, right? From my perspective, the obvious winner is Something Is Killing the Children.
All right. Some good observations.
Because I feel like I like the slicker, more kind of simple art, than you guys do. I know you guys can appreciate it, but you guys like it when it really does something. And I feel like Absolute Superman kind of does that in this. It's different, but it's awesome, right?
Right.
All right.
Yep. Well, to let you know, every cover received a vote.
That's a winning week. That's a winning week every time, Mike. Great job. Great job.
So we'll jump in with third place. We have Batgirl #1 from Archer.
Nice. Checks out. I voted for that. The only reason I didn't the only reason I didn't pick this as the obvious winner, in my opinion, is because it is a dark-faced, hidden-faced Batgirl. I feel like Batgirl really sells when you can really see her beauty, right?
Yeah. Not a fan of that Batgirl costume. The cow.
Okay.
I like when Archer, when he does more than just like a close up of a head and shoulders.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, definitely.
Right there. So, yeah, this was I figured this one would do well. I didn't think it would be a #1, so still tracking.
Yeah, I voted for it. I'm 100% so far.
All right, #2, we have Something is Killing the Children 0 from Jenny Prison. I seriously thought this was going to be the #1 book.
Okay, so cool. We're tracking. Okay.
Yeah. I just like how clean. I mean, we've seen her do, these covers for 30 some issues, but this one just really stood out.
She's awesome. Yeah, I think you actually put me on to Jenny Frison, and yeah, man, she's definitely my top 10 favorite artists. She's awesome. You like Jenny Frison, Pat?
Yeah, I do, but what Mike said is the exact problem I have. It's like getting a little tired.
She's getting to be Batman on a gargoyle status. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, she's technically a very good artist, but this cover just is boring to me.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if you would like the colored version or not, but also I mean, she's been doing it so long. She did every cover for Revival. If anybody really wants to go back a little bit, something like 10 years ago.
All the A covers, you mean?
Yeah. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
That's where I first noticed her. All right. And coming in first place, we have
Karen.
She had it going, but it stuttered.
Oh.
There it is. Boom. Kevin, you were right. Absolute Superman #1 is the winner.
There you go.
I thought it would be reversed. I thought Something's Killing the Children would be 1, and I figured this would be 2 or 3.
Did you vote for this one, Pat?
Yeah, this is the only one I did vote for. Yep.
We voted for 3, but this is the only one that was easy. Yeah.
Well, this is the only one that placed.
That made the list. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Put up the 10 again. I think was my other one. Something's Killing Children. Did I nail all 3? I think. Yeah.
Let's see. You were Absolute, Batgirl. Oh yeah, you did. Look at you.
Sweet. Where's my prize? Where's my prize?
You win a prize.
Hey, this could be the new tradition. We'll just remind everybody about the Prophet's Prophet in the first episode of every season.
Yeah.
The Prophet exists if we just get a couple people that show interest, where we'll give one of these comics away every week to anybody that can guess all 3 of the books that place, like I just did. See how easy it is? Boom. So just comment below that you want to participate in that next week, and we'll have Mike hook it up.
Right. Yeah, I like the. We'll talk about some of these a little bit. The Absolute Superman. I wasn't paying much attention to that title until I had to pick these covers because I figured I'm just getting Absolute Batman and that's it. When I really started looking at this, I was like, geez, that is such a great cover. Now I want Absolute Superman #1. So I'm going to have to pick that up.
I didn't like the JSA. And I didn't like the Avengers. And I didn't like the Birds of Prey.
Oh, wow. I have
pick on me, Kevin.
What's that, Pat?
I said, just pick on me, Kevin.
Oh, sorry. Are those the ones you picked besides?
JSA and Birds of Prey.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the Birds of Prey because I just love the arc behind her. I like how that looks. The X-Men I thought was great because it kind of reminded me of Silvestri a little bit. And
yeah, I almost picked the X-Men. Yeah, I almost picked it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Walking Dead 100, I just think Tedesco did. I've always liked his artwork. It's got a great atmosphere on that one. Now Negan looks a little bit off in the face, but yeah, just it's so creepy. And then the Avengers, I really love it because it goes back to the Captain Marvel book.
Yeah.
That's
what I thought it was at first. I was like, is this a Death of Captain Marvel reprint or something?
No, this is and she's one of the Stormbreakers. I think that's what they call them, the new artists that they're highlighting. Yeah. So I just like how she did that. I just like the presentation, the close up there. And I've got a question: is they haven't messed with Captain Marvel, have they? Because they're always bringing old characters back that have died, but they haven't messed with him, have they?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
I think there's been versions of them that have appeared.
It's like that's one character. I think they should, just there's so much backstory on Starlin writing that book that just leave that character alone. Anyway, those are my.
I just actually bought a first print of the Death of Captain Marvel on the last Comic-Con we went to. You remember that?
Oh, I don't remember you grabbing that.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, actually, no, you weren't. You weren't at that one. It was at the Akron Comic-Con when we went there. Yeah. I grabbed it first printing because the one I had is like 10th or something like that. I can't remember.
I don't know what mine is.
I think they went up to 22 printings.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And that Venom War is fun.
Yeah, I know everybody loves Scotty Young. So this is Scotty Young like, but not Scotty Young, just trying to get another fun.
He would. Chris Giarrusso was doing this before Scotty Young started doing his stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Interesting.
He's the original.
Karen, what do you think of that Venom War?
Voted for it.
You voted for it? Okay. And then I didn't think I was going to like that. What's that other one? The Hollows, the one? Is that what that is? What did you say it was?
One for Sorrow.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like that very much at all. But when I gave it a good look a couple times, I really started to dig that.
Yeah, that one, I went out on a limb. You start to, there were 538 to choose from.
Yeah.
And then I get down to, 8 or 9, and sometimes I have to go back through. And that was one that I picked up on my second time through. I just thought it was unique enough.
Yeah, I love that philosophy. Mike. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, great job.
That's it. Like you. So go get some of these. You're getting that absolute secret one.
Oh yeah, did you do your usual this Wednesday, right?
Yeah, those are this Wednesday. You guys planning on reading any of the Absolute books?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I picked up all 3 of the initial ones, and I'll give them a shot.
Okay. Yeah, I've got Batman upstairs. Wasn't going to get any more, but now I am. And who knows? By the time Wonder Woman comes out, I may. That's next week too, I think, isn't it? Or did it already come out?
Not sure.
See how I wasn't even paying attention.
All right, awesome. Let's talk about a few of them we did read. Not talking about the ones we are going to read, but the ones we actually did. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Okay, dokie.
Oh, Mike, you're first.
I know. It's all right. I don't mind being first. All right. So, for anybody that's been watching us for a while, they know that I love grommets. And number 5 hit the shelf, hit my front porch on October 23rd. So, Rick Remender, Brian Potion. I always mess up his last name.
Posehn.
Thank you. But I can always count on Pat to know the right way to say it. You're good with names, Pat. Are the writers, and then Brett Parson and Moreno Denizio are the artists. So this is 5 of 7, and we pick up where issue 4 left off. The jocks are all at the party, and they've completely crashed the party. There's a great scene. They're outside, inside, just taking over. And this says it's just the 1980s teenage party movies or the blueprints for this issue.
Yeah, that's a great party. Hey, trivia question, Mike. This isn't no one viewing is going to care about this whatsoever. But my family and I were talking about this the other day, and it was a trivia question for them. So it's the same for you. Do you remember when we used to tape up newspapers and use them as swords, and we'd put tennis balls in socks and beat the heck out of each other? Right.
I remember that.
Where did we do that?
Dr. Pepper Avenue.
Nice, exactly. Yes. Nice. You just remind me with this party thing, because we always just have crazy parties like this.
Yeah.
That came up, So anyway, continue.
Yeah, we worked on those swords for like a week. It's like
we would prepare the swords for hours and hours, and then we'd demolish them on each other in like less than 2 hours. So it didn't take very long at all.
Yeah, we made a 25-pound water balloon.
Yeah,
and we flipped to see who I got to throw it at first. It's too funny.
I think the first time one of us caught it, literally knocked it. It didn't blow. It didn't pop. It just knocked.
Right, it didn't pop. I think we probably threw it like 10 times and it didn't pop. I don't even. That's the thing. I don't even know who it broke on. I just remember throwing it numerous times and it
without it breaking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, the jocks are being simple-minded, bulls in the china shop type of thing, while all the skaters are sitting back and watching just the complete carnage unfold. And we have Rick and Samra. They actually go out to the pool. They kind of like each other, as you can see here. So they've got some alone time at the pool. And
Fast Times at Ridgemount High. There's a Fast Times scene right there.
Sort of. And then let's see.
Hold on a second. Is that intentional that in 3 of the panels has Mohawk Kid, and then in the 4th panel they have that kid with his thought? That's like an alert, right? Looking like a Mohawk, right?
Well, it's not. It's just his Mohawk. Oh, I see. I'll say. Yeah, I see.
You see what I'm talking about, Pat?
Yeah, his spider sense is going off. That's funny.
That's got to be intentional, right?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Liberty Spike Mike is who you're talking about there. He actually kind of intercepts Rick as he's following Samner out of the pool. and it gets him involved in the most serious part of the book, which, of course, it always ends this way with the jocks beating up everybody. So after about 8 pages of lighthearted party story, we get a serious turn to dark and violent. And this is I'm not going to show any more of the violence because it's a heavy turn.
Wow. Wait, this picture's supposed to be a high school kid?
Yeah, he's a high school kid.
Dadgum.
You know how it was in the 80s? They were like 28-year-olds.
That's what I was going to say. Is he almost 30?
Playing teenagers. Yeah, there's always that one kid that's a senior. He looks like he's 32.
Right. That is some great art though. That fist is perfect.
That's
right. Isn't that fist perfect, Pat?
It's pretty fisty.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the first 4 issues, 4.25 issues, just great nostalgia, fun, partying, just teenage stuff. And then the end of this one is like, holy cow. It's a heavy turn. But it's still great. I still highly recommend it. The trade paperback will be out March 25th. I think the series wraps up on Christmas Day, but probably be the day after for comic book stores. So,
all right.
Yeah, this is definitely a must-have. I'm loving it. Even with the heavy turn, it can only, I imagine it's going to have that, redemption area there at the end. So it'll recover.
You've sold me. The only reason I didn't pick up all these in the last time we were in town was because I knew I was spending hundreds of dollars on other books.
Yeah. And just they've reprinted a bunch of times, so I've gathered those together because they've done some cool things. So issue number 1's been reprinted it's got 5 printings. And what's cool about it is the 5th and 2nd printing are connecting covers. So that's fun. Then number 2 has been printed 3 times. There's 3 printings there. And then numbers 3 and 4 have only reprinted, had a 2nd printing.
I don't think that black and white one works with this. I think it needs the color.
Right, that one?
Yeah.
Well, I like it because it's kind of the it's the artist's
The original art version.
original art style.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like that. I almost picked those up because I think they're cool. If I knew they were going to do all of them, I'd maybe try to get the whole set. But
yeah, that would have been cool. I'm really hoping that I keep checking to see if we're going to get a 3rd printing for number 3 and 4. But I think by this point, people have caught on to the books and the orders are up.
Yeah.
And then of course the cover for number 5. Issue number 6 has got a very graphic cover, so I didn't put it up there.
Okay. Graphic in what way? Violence or adult things or what?
Yeah, violence. Just very bloody.
Gotcha.
It's like the after effects of this issue.
Okay.
So, but that's what I read. Absolute Batman. That's what everybody wants to see, but I did Gromits.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. Any must-haves a good choice. All right, what you got, Pat?
all right. Gonna finish up Ain't No Grave by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. I was a little bit delayed on this because DCBS never shipped me number 4. I ended up picking it up and catching up this week. Number 4 is entitled Depression. As if you remember, we're going through like the 5 stages of grief throughout the series. This is a mostly silent issue. In fact, there's only 2 words in the entire book.
Wow.
Beaten Ryder, our main character here, was beaten and bruised. Remember, she went on the gambling ship to win her bargaining chip so she could actually face death face to face. And she did get that chip, but she was roughed up and beaten and thrown overboard and left for dead. But she found her way out of that. She's sort of stumbling along, and she finds an abandoned mining town, and eventually finds a bar where she starts drowning her sorrows and reflecting on her past. And it's here you see she believes she catches a glimpse of her daughter. And it's tough to tell. These aren't the. I wish I had a better way of getting screenshots of my pages here, but I like the juxtaposition between you kind of on the one side you see the flashback, and on the right side is the current day. And it's kind of used to a neat effect. It's been used that way throughout the entire book, but even down to the fact at the bottom there, where half you kind of see the half her face is beaten and bruised, and the other half is normal, and it kind of reads into the past and the present here. But she believes it was her daughter. She follows this character and ends up down a mine shaft in this abandoned town, or perhaps she doesn't. It's kind of unclear because she hears this music playing. It's this creature sort of playing the blues, you would think. And she follows the music and sees the girl and this guy playing the guitar. Then the entire mine shaft kind of crumbles down on her. But you're left questioning if perhaps this is just all like sort of a hallucination or a dream, because at one point maybe she was found, and it appears that she was buried, because she eventually comes to and emerges from the grave. Basically, she bursts out of this grave where a character, like a grave digger, it looks like, points her in towards her destination of facing death. She follows it, gets transported, trades in her bargaining chip, and ends up face to face with death for the final double page spread, where you get the only two words of the book, which is death saying hello, Ryder. So
dadgum.
That kind of leads you into number 5, the final issue, titled Acceptance. This is Ryder's final showdown with death, and the character of death it's a great design. It's absolutely fantastic. Props to Jorge Corona, who, by the way, he's totally blown me away this entire series. He's one of my new favorite artists. I love him.
Okay.
But basically, Ryder takes a quick shot at death with her pistol, and of course misses. And death, asks her if she really thought it would be that easy,
Right.
and tells her, why she's here. He said that he didn't expect her so soon, but she says, I have a bone to pick with you. I want more time with my family. He's like, well, that's not how it works, but he'll cut her one last deal. She can only use the remaining bullets in her pistol, and if she hits death, she gets extra time on Earth. If she misses, she gets a glimpse into her family's future. So of course she takes him up on the deal. There is sort of a little bit of the gunfight there, but things don't go her way, as you might expect. She basically misses him every shot, and meanwhile she's getting glimpses into her future, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You see that her family moves on without her, but they're not suffering any longer. Her daughter grows up and marries and has a daughter of her own that they name Ryder. Her husband greatly enjoys spending time with their granddaughter. It's not it's not a terrible life for them. They are able to move on and have a good life after Ryder leaves. But she says, okay, fine, but can I at least get one more glimpse at my family before I go? And Death agrees. And he comforts her on the way, telling her that her husband and daughter will remember her for the good things she did once she turned her life around. But you know, she can't make up for all the bad things she did. It's just not that easy. Um, so he agrees to transport her to see her family one last time, and you kind of see the transportation scene right there, which was really cool. And she sees her family, and I will not spoil the last few pages of the book. I'll leave that for you to discover if you so choose to. But it while it's not an uplifting ending, I'll say that it's a satisfying conclusion. Um, I think it all boils down to, you know, if you're given a sentence in your life, so- there's an ending coming. Try to make the best of it. She made the mistake of not spending the remaining time with her family, and that's kind of the what they're trying to tell you here. Things happen, everyone dies, but make the best of those times that you have left, and that's kind of how the story wraps up. I'll give the story is not that involved and complex. It's fine. I'll give Scotty Young credit there. It's a good story, but maybe not a great story. The art, on the other hand, is fantastic. And I think I think fans of like horror western would really dig this. It would be a strong get it for them. Strong get it for anybody, I think. Um, just maybe not. It's probably not for everybody. Let's just say that it's probably not a must-have, but I think it's a very strong get it. And I absolutely, I looked last night to see if this was being collected yet, and so far, I think like on Scotty Young's page, maybe or no, I think it was like Penguin Random House has a listing for a trade paperback, but I don't want a trade paperback. I want a hardcover. In fact, I would be much happier like with like an oversized hardcover to
Yeah.
showcase the art even better than in comic book form. So I'm really hoping that happens, but yeah, go get it, everyone.
Yep. I'm glad you didn't tell me the very, very ending because I've got these sitting up to read, but I was kind of holding off on reading them because you were reviewing them. I'm glad that everything turned out in a positive manner as far as everything was good. And yeah. I agree. A large hardcover would just be so great to highlight that art.
Yeah, and I know, Mike, you said you got a little stuck on the first issue, but I've read 4 and 5 like 3 times. It's like just making sure I got everything in my head, and of course number 4 has no dialogue, so it's a little bit easier of a read, but you do have to still kind of try to put the pieces together. But overall, this book is not. It's not that heavy on the reading and the story. It's more about the visuals. I'm not. The way I say it seems like I'm kind of dissing Scotty Young. I'm really not, but it's just not an overly involved story once it gets going. And it's a satisfying story with great art.
Yeah, I think maybe and to Scotty's credit, is he recognizes the strengths of Jorge's storytelling and art style. So there's really no need to, have a lot of dialogue and a lot of writing stuff. He kind of lets his artwork tell most of the story and maybe fills in the gaps with the writing.
I also give big props to the colorist. I wish I had his name written down on my rough draft, but I failed to copy it over to my paper in front of me.
Yeah, because the colorist has to make sense of all those lines.
Yeah, in the coloring, especially in that final issue, is final 2 issue. Once she's face to face with all the reds and stuff, it's really great. And I give him a lot of credit for the final artwork too.
Yeah, great.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I wish. Well, I'll just wait for you to get that mic, so I can take a look at that one as well.
Yep.
I was gonna say I wish Pat was local. I wish we were local more than just this reason, but this would be a good reason.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I read something that Mike already reviewed. Wolverine #1, Volume 8 by Saladin Ahmed and Martin Coccolo. And then since Mike already reviewed that, I'm not going to waste anybody's time on that, although I may make mention of some things. Then I read #2 as well. Like I said, wanted to kind of try to keep up with the Wolverines as Volume 8 moves along. And like I said, I think Mike covered it where, we're kind of it's kind of going back to old school in this at the beginning, especially because Wolverine's back in the Canadian wilderness, living the life of, wild man, not really participating with any superhero-ness or society for that matter. And basically, Cyber wants to take advantage of this situation with kind of Wolverine being out on his own. Since Wolverine hangs out with a lot of other superheroes, he kind of wants to have him alone because he thinks he can take him on his own, which is inaccurate. And then also, Nightcrawler doesn't like the fact that Wolverine is out running in the wild. So Nightcrawler's out looking for him as well. And those are the main players. I wanted to ask you, Pat, since I think you're up to date with X-Men, right?
I'm only reading one of the current X-Men books on the relaunch here.
Okay, well, he said there was a comment made. It was kind of random. And you know what happened to the old days where they'd put the asterisks in the bubble and explain any random comment that was made, that C issue, X-Men issue, whatever, you know how they used to do that?
Yep.
I don't know if
they still do.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if
maybe they missed one
didn't in this issue. Yeah. So anyway, they say, and after Charles doing what he did in this, it's kind of I think Cyber actually mentions it. What did Charles do regarding Wolverine that had something to do with him wanting to be out in the wilderness? Do you know the answer to that question?
Yeah, it wasn't just Charles. It wasn't just what he did to Wolverine. It's what he did to the entire X-Men. But I think, but basically, the X-Men kind of think he sold them out, but he was. Okay. I think he was actually like protecting them, and he's turned himself in. I think he's in prison currently. But yeah, that's why he's angry at him.
Okay. So then, as Wolverine is kind of occasionally fighting Cyber, and Nightcrawler actually catches up with him as well. As you can see on the cover of 2, and I love when the cover expresses something that actually happens in the issue. Wolverine meets up again with Wendigo. So my Wendigo history is very thin to nothing. Okay. As far as what I do have, I don't remember, and I don't have that much anyway. So, Mike, you can answer this question for me too if you know. Do Wendigos become Wendigos? Is the lure of a Wendigo when someone succumbs to starvation enough to where they're willing to be a cannibal, and then that's what makes them become a Wendigo? Has that always been that way?
You know, I can't remember.
Pat?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of familiar with like how you pass along the curse
Okay, how do you pass along the curse too?
when you bite the other victim.
That's a
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. So they're like vampires, kind of then.
or werewolf.
Oh yeah, werewolves. That'd be more appropriate. Good job, Mike.
A Wendigo either devours its victims or possesses their spirit and turns them evil.
Yeah, so that's kind of the Wendigo I was remembering, but this one, it's kind of like anybody can become a Wendigo. Anybody that becomes a can.
Yeah, you want me to read this?
Sure.
Well, this is on the interwebs. So,
Okay.
a Wendigo is a cannibalistic monster that is created when a human spirit is corrupted or weakened. There are multiple ways a human can become a Wendigo, including cannibalism, spirit possession, dreaming of a Wendigo, contact with a Wendigo. Yeah, so if you're in contact with one for too long, a bite can also transform victims into cannibals. So yeah, it's like, geez, just stay away from Wendigos is basically the
right. So this is basically, I think Mike mentioned the way he described it was pretty good with, this is kind of the Wolverine I like, hacking and slashing and fighting a lot, lots of action in both of these issues. I did think it was interesting too that once Wolverine finds out that the Wendigo is a little kid, and what I mean little kid, like maybe 16, 17, something like that, finds out he's a kid, Wolverine actually goes to tracking the Wendigo to not to hurt the Wendigo, but just to keep the Wendigo from doing something stupid to where they're going to kill, the Mounties are out after. Ironically enough, the Cyber's doing most of the killing in these issues, but the Mounties are after Wolverine because people are like, we saw this naked man running around with these claws. So like Wolverine's being identified, and then they're just kind of attaching all the deaths that are happening with Wolverine, but it's actually Cyber. And then Wolverine also doesn't want Wendigo to also be blamed for Cyber's killings, and doesn't want Wendigo to kill anybody in general, because Wendigo, this current Wendigo, this kid, only became a Wendigo because him and his buddy got locked in a cave or something, or they couldn't escape this cave, and his buddy died first, and basically he started eating his buddy to survive. That's how he became a Wendigo. So he's not like supposedly bad, I guess, technically. So Wolverine's kind of half protecting him from doing something stupid while also protecting other people to make sure he doesn't kill anybody and get blamed for all of the killings that Cyber has going on in this issue. But it's real basic. That's really all that's happening so far. And like I said, Nightcrawler catches up with him too. So Nightcrawler is that's how he has his suit. Most of the time through these two issues, he's literally running around naked in the Canadian wilderness. But Wolverine or Nightcrawler, when he catches up to Wolverine, he's like, "Hey, here's your suit. Get dressed." It's like, so anyway, pretty basic story. Definitely get it if you're a Wolverine fan. Not really much meat to this yet, and it doesn't really seem like it's going to give us much meat. We might even get another issue with it, just kind of this hack and slash basic storytelling. But I feel like, it's going to lead to something more, once Nightcrawler actually gets Wolverine back to civilization. So I don't know even if it's a must-have for Wolverine fans, but definitely get it for Wolverine fans. Anybody that enjoys this kind of thing, get it. But I don't think if you're not a Wolverine fan, you can pass on it. So,
real quick, it's just the way things go. I got the last Wolverine series, and then when this one's coming up, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to get this one. I grabbed number 1. I liked it, but I don't think I pre-ordered number 2, but I did pre-order number 3. So now I'm like, that's how I end up with gaps in my collection.
Yep.
So, but this is probably still on the shelf. I can't imagine this thing is difficult to find.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there ain't nothing special about it. So
I'm going up today. I don't know if you're heading over that way.
No, probably find it in the dollar bins in 3 or 4 months. So
Oh,
yeah.
cool. I could wait.
All right, so that'll do it. We are rolling right along.
Can I tell you a funny story about my dog real quick?
Yes.
Has nothing to do with comics. So he hurt his foot going down the steps. So now he doesn't go down the back steps. So we take him out through the garage, but he won't go out unless we put his harness on him that we normally take him for a walk on. But I don't put the leash on. I just put the harness on him, and then he'll go down the little steps and out. He'll just stand there and wait for you to put the harness on him. Then I let go, and he just goes out. It's like he needs his jacket to go out.
That's funny. That is a good foot. All right, you ready, Pat?
Yes, that time already, huh?
It is. We're flying.
Yep.
All right.
All right. I think we're going to pick up where we kind of left off last time with the saga that was the Deadpool and Wolverine Steelbook fiasco. That'll lead us into some new Steelbook news. Just on a little personal note, I received both of my copies from Target. My thinking was it's Deadpool's movie. I'm going to keep the Deadpool heavy cover. I still have both of them, but I opened the Deadpool and Wolverine, the Deadpool version to actually watch the movie. And I looked these over because that's one of the things with Steelbooks. You kind of have to look them over for dents and dings, and a lot of times they're in a box with the spines up, and whoever does it, if it's the manufacturer or the shipper, they cut the boxes open, and you usually get a spine slash right down the middle. It's so annoying. Yeah. But everything looked good on these, so I opened the Deadpool version, and I noticed as soon as I got the shrink wrap off, there's like a line going across right underneath the Deadpool and Wolverine logo. You can't really see it unless you tilt the Steelbook a certain way. It's fine. I'll live with it, but it's just annoying. That's what you have to kind of worry about when you collect these dang things. But anyway, that was all fun with all the wildly fluctuating prices on the pre-orders for that. And it continues because, let's do Marvel first. This week they announced the newest batch of Marvel TV shows showing up in Steelbook form. Starting off with Mandalorian Season 3, they're passing right over Book of Boba Fett, which is kind of integral to the Mandalorian storyline in those last couple episodes. If they're not planning to do Book of Boba Fett, they should at least include those really important 2 episodes. But I don't know if they will. So,
yeah, you won't know how Mando got where he is in Season 3 without those 2 episodes. Yeah.
And also, the last time they released a wave of Disney Plus shows on physical format with Steelbooks, they did a 4K and a Blu-ray version. This time, so far, it's only 4K. So there's that too.
Yeah, that's not good for me.
Yeah. Second is Ahsoka Season 1. And then we'll move to the Marvel side, and we have Hawkeye, complete first season, and Loki season 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Those are both really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's not so great is, again, the pricing is all over the place, crazy. I don't know what's going on. If it's, like I said, Disney quit producing physical media on their own. They handed it off to Sony. So Sony's in charge of this now, and I don't know if that's part of the problem. But yeah, the pre-orders for these went up October 31st. They're releasing on December 3rd. I did not pre-order these. I am hoping, if I'm going to continue, I'm hoping for another Target buy two get one free, and hopefully the prices will stabilize and get a little more normal by that point, because it's just ridiculous. And little more ridiculous stuff. I did not. So far, I have all the legendary pictures, Godzilla series, and King and Kong and Skull Island, things like that in Steelbook. So, but I did not get Godzilla X Kong, or whatever you want to call it. This was the Walmart exclusive Steelbook that came out in the spring. I did not get this, but they recently Walmart. I don't. This is odd for such a short turnaround. They have been known to re-release Steelbooks, but Walmart's getting another exclusive of Godzilla X Kong, but it has new artwork, and it's this version right here.
I like the inside of the other one better. I wish they did. You know, it would be really cool if they did something like the Deadpool Wolverine. That would have been better, to where it had Kong in front on the front, and then Godzilla in front on the back, but both of them had the others. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Kevin, do you work for Steelbook?
No, why?
Because they did it overseas. Here it is.
Oh, geez. Of course.
See, yeah, it's totally cool. That's totally perfect. Yeah, it's got all the main players, and yeah, perfect. Yeah,
that's better than the other two combined.
Right.
Parts of the other two to make one. This is still better.
Yeah, so I saw this one before the Walmart re-release was announced, and it's not that difficult to get a hold of. And I was probably thinking about going this direction. The only thing it looks great to me in these promo shots, but in person it's more of like a silver, like plain metal looking cover instead of white. I wish I would have, a little more color to Kong and Godzilla. You can kind of see it, but it's really subtle. I like the imagery, but I think they could have pumped the colors up a little bit more.
Yeah. Hey, what's the name of the organization that's trying to track down all the monsters again?
Monarch.
Yeah, Monarch. Hey, did you guys watch Monarch yet? That series?
No.
Yeah, well, you know me. I think I have the last episode to watch.
Okay. Which is the best episode that made me love the entire series more.
It brings it all together, right? It ties it all together.
Exactly. And actually, since we're on that note, before you continue again, Pat, so I don't have to interrupt you again. Are you watching Agatha? It was Agatha all along?
Yeah, I'm done. It finished.
Did you like? I'm probably not going to watch it, so I didn't know if you want to just, yay or nay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. Johnny said he was kind of digging it too. The first episode right off the bat was kind of strange and was intriguing, but the next two episodes I was like falling asleep. I didn't care for them. They were pretty boring in my opinion, but it really picked up in like episode 5 and 6 and 7, I guess, or 6, 7, 8. And there were some really strong episodes, and I like where it went and how it wrapped up.
Okay. All right, cool. And I shouldn't say I'm never going to watch it, but it's just not on my importance list,
It was let's just say it wasn't the sole focus wasn't about Agatha. There's another character that shares the spotlight.
Quicksilver, right?
No,
Okay.
Quicksilver's dead.
Well, you know how that goes.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I thought I saw something about him in it or whatever, so that's why I guessed that, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, the character, what's his first name? I can't remember his first name. But who was sucked into Wanda's spell in WandaVision?
Yeah.
It was her brother.
Right.
It was they pulled the fast one, no pun intended, thinking that it was Quicksilver because it was played by the actor that played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies.
Right.
He is in this because
Okay.
he's no longer under the spell.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We could probably get into that a little bit deeper during a bonus for what Kevin watched one week. We should do that. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, I'm done interrupting you.
No, and I should say that a lot of this information, we've been off for a couple of weeks, so a lot of things happened. A lot of things were premiered, including New York Comic Con. A lot of information was released there. Then there's been some conventions in Europe, so that's where a lot of these new releases are coming from and new information.
Okay.
McFarlane, of course, he doesn't even need a convention. He's releasing new stuff every day practically.
Right.
So we'll go over a lot of stuff from McFarlane. This is the Christopher Reeve Superman. I don't know about this one. So much so they made sure to grab some close-ups because he does come with an alternate head. You guys can be the judge if they nailed the Christopher Reeve likeness.
No.
No.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit more in the angry face.
Oh
but
yeah.
Not really, but not 100% for sure.
Yeah, it's still off, but it's much better. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Superman.
That's crazy. The two heads that come in it don't even match each other.
Right.
I mean, aside from the expression, just the face in general,
Yeah.
what it looks like. That's crazy.
And McFarlane does platinums for almost every single figure these days, and I believe I heard that the platinum variant of this Superman is going to be like the evil Superman from Superman 4. So maybe they'll do a little better job there. I don't know.
So just since you're the collectible guru on this show, Pat, this is just your opinion question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When this kind of thing happens, here's your options. Do you think, one, they know it's not right and they give up and just ship it? Two, they're crazy and they think it's right? Or three, they try so many times, they're basically put it out of their, price point of being able to make any money on it. And then they realize they got to do it without trying anymore. What do you think happens?
Oh boy, I don't know. But the thing about McFarlane is he's sort of a different model because I think a lot of times, like if this was a Hasbro thing, their lead time is so long. If they get a lot of fan outrage over this head sculpt, they probably go back and tweak it. But it's like Todd doesn't announce stuff until it's ready to be on the store shelves next week. So I guarantee you this figure's ready to start hitting stores soon. So I really don't know. I don't know what their model is about decisions like that.
Okay. I don't know if you just want to throw out a guess,
We'll set up an interview with McFarlane, see if we can land that.
I'll send him another email, well, this,
Tell him we have a slot for him this time.
Yeah. And this is another weird thing I'm seeing lately with McFarlane. Usually all these 7-inch DC multiverse figures would be in generally the same price range. These first few we're going to cover are $30. I guess it's McFarlane Collector's Edition. That lets them charge like an extra $5 or whatever. But so yeah, I'll tell you when. I'll try to remember to tell you when the price switches. But we'll do some $30 DC multiverse. Second is Green Lantern Simon Baz. more modern character. He looks, for as much as I know about the character, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he does look cool.
Here's a character I had known nothing about. Grid.
Never heard of him.
Grid.
He kind of looks like what Cyborg would look like during a zombie apocalypse if he was bitten by a zombie. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, maybe you're onto something. I don't know. And then I think the last one in this wave is Mr. Terrific. Looks okay. I usually think of him with a black tee. I thought on his face. I don't know. He's okay. And then this next series with a Build-A-Figure is based on the Justice League Task Force video game. Did anybody remember that or remember playing it?
Yes. Yes.
Super Nintendo days. I don't remember this game.
Well, I had it. I think I had it on PS2.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they went for there's your flowing hair in the water, Kevin.
Great.
They went for like that digital pixelated paint job on some of these, and you can really notice it sometimes. Sometimes you can't. Otherwise, except for like the smirking face, I think this is a pretty decent Aquaman. Hair flowing aside. And then
probably great if you have him on some fishing line and you put him in an aquarium. You know what I'm saying? He'd put a little, he'd be like legit.
Yeah, he definitely has to. You have to play with that one underwater.
Right.
And right off the bat, I think the Build-A-Figure is going to become obvious. So we'll move on to Batman.
Nope. Nope. We talked about this. I think last show we talked about this, right? He is just way too happy. And
happy? Looks like he stepped on a Lego and he's trying not to scream.
I was just thinking he looks happy. Well, that's a good looking Flash, though.
Yeah, you can't.
He looks silly in the box, though.
I know that is a running theme with McFarlane's packaging.
No pun intended.
All the Flash related figures are always posed in that like running.
That's like he's like, okay, make it look like you're running. I'm going to take a picture of you. Instead of actually running and taking a picture of him.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And the final figure is Superman.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's someone impersonating Superman. That's what it is.
That's someone dressed up as Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Someone dressed up for Halloween as Nicolas Cage's Superman, right?
That's terrible.
The heck?
The faux pixelated paint job, I think, makes it even worse. I don't know. And if you weren't playing along, you can build Darkseid.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Looks like they put all the energy into the Build-A-Fig.
Yeah. And sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I was gonna say the I've got the Grid. Kevin, you said what did you say about Grid?
I said he looked like what Cyborg would look like if he was bitten by a zombie in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, Grid stole Cyborg's cybernetic prosthesis to make a body for itself.
Nice.
So he's since been separated from it, I guess, in the storylines. But yeah, there's nice pool. Well done.
Hey, thanks.
And these Justice League Task Force figures are retailing at $26. So there you go, fluctuating price points.
And they come with the 5.
1, 2, 3, 4 to build Darkseid. That's the thing.
That ain't too bad, actually. Then
that's the thing, because these are cheaper and you're getting Build-A-Figure parts. So I don't know. I don't quite understand. Here's a deluxe pricier figure. This is Swamp Thing from Planet Ron.
Man, oh man, no. I don't like this at all.
He's $40. He's like 11 inches tall, I believe. So it's one of those big box deluxe ear figures.
I want to see the numbers on these. Like after he tries to sell it, how many people are buying these? That's so interesting to me. I want to know.
Here's a little tidbit for you guys. Yeah, I don't know if do you have Ross Dress for Less stores in your area down there?
I don't think so.
I don't think we do. I don't think we have Ross.
The closest one's in McLean. Yeah.
So they're good. They're a good source for toys these days.
Oh yeah, we do, Mike. It's beside Home Depot, right? Isn't that Ross?
No, there's a Kohl's right there.
Oh, Kohl's. Never mind. Because Kohl's has these too, right? I think I found one of these at Kohl's one time.
They have a toy section.
Yeah.
It's their last.
Toys are expensive though at Kohl's.
Oh.
You want to go if you're trying not to confuse the two. Kohl's would be the expensive toys. Ross is the discount.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of all started last Christmas with Ross. They started getting tons of toys, good stuff, and they've been so throughout the year. But it looks like they're gearing up for Christmas. And these deluxe huge McFarlane figures show up for like $5.99.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be a grab. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there's one right up by Gideon and Smoketown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gideon and Smoketown?
Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
In there?
It's worth checking out. They have some good stuff. And if you guys start going there, I can have you look for stuff I'm looking for here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's a bunch of them.
Wow. Now we know. Now we know.
Yeah, knowing's half the battle. No G.I. Joe this week, though, folks.
Okay.
Although there was some, but there was so much I decided not to include them. Okay, let's more McFarlane.
Do you agree this is a horrible Swamp Thing, though?
Horrible in that I have no idea who this version of Swamp Thing is, and I would never buy it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe there's some
terrible.
Maybe there's some fans of this version out there that are just super excited to see this. I'm sure it was an easy decision because they could probably reuse a lot of the stuff or resculpt some pieces and just give them a red paint job. But yeah, I don't know. The new Batman Adventures figures. We have Anti-Fire Batman.
All right.
Because you need Anti-Fire Batman because fire flies around.
Nice.
And finally, the Creeper.
Oh, that looks pretty good. Yeah.
I think all three of these were previously released by DC Direct. That's kind of the deal McFarlane has, where he was able to obtain the sculpts, and he's re-released quite a few while doing new ones on his own. These are $26 retail. Real quick, they showed a lot of these at spotlighted a lot of them at the New York Comic Con, but this is the first one they put up for pre-orders. It's a 3-pack for the Superpowers, some JSA figures clocking in at $30. So that's pretty much typical because they usually run about $10 each.
There are so many ways to make this picture without triggering people's OCD. Okay. And this is not one of them. Okay. Why would they do that?
Yeah. I noticed that too. That's weird.
You either do them all wrong or you do them all right. Don't do one of them right and two of them wrong.
That's so messed up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, even if it's the figures behind or the names at the top of the box.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Put the names in the order they are in the packaging, and then put the displayed ones in the order they are in the packaging.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost like that discussion we had about the newscaster, Mike. You wonder if somebody did this on purpose. Once they saw the figures how they were in the package, you're like, well, if they're going to do that, we're going to show them outside the package even different. So
you're right. So crazy.
You know, Kevin and I have said we have this saying. It's like, I could do that better.
Right.
And I'm seeing it more and more. We can do more things better.
I mean, literally nowadays it is so easy to throw out like a focus group. You know, I mean, anybody who's buying McFarlane toys, follow him somewhere. Throw out a question. Hey, who do you want to see? What version do you want to see it? And then whenever they come with the prototype, how's this look? Would you buy? Whatever. I would not mass produce until I knew. I mean, obviously, I'm getting off on a different tangent than what we're talking about with these guys, but just thinking about all that stuff, it seems like it'd be so simple nowadays,
It does. Speaking of focus groups, that will lead us to our final Farland item. I think you talked about your emails to Todd, and I think they're finally getting through on the Jokerized figures. He
Nice.
said, okay, enough of the Jokerized. Fans out there just aren't digging them. So I'm going to come up with a new line.
Uh-oh.
And that is Todd's Mods.
Oh, yeah.
McFarlane's Outrageous Designs.
So, you showed us these before, like on a show, right? You mentioned
I don't
them.
believe so. I think this was just announced at New York Comic Con.
I think you mentioned it, or something. Or no, it was New York Comic Con. I think maybe you showed like a small pic or something. I thought you turned these on, turn me on to these, but yeah, then I saw these in the store and they're not as they look better in person, I think, than this picture looks.
Okay.
Have you seen them in the wild yet?
I have not, but that just goes to show you what I'm talking about with Todd's, turnaround time. They just announced these, and if they're showing up in stores already, there you go.
Maybe I don't know whether I saw an advertisement or I saw one. Yeah, I think I saw one physically because that's what it struck me that it was better in person than I thought it was, in a picture.
These are 4.5-inch vinyl static figures that are going to retail for $20. We'll get to them out of box here. Maybe you'll recognize them.
What are you thinking of these, Mike?
I don't know what I think of them. I mean, it looks kind of cool. I don't know if I think it looks really cool because it's Batman or not. But
yeah, you got another one?
Yeah.
Oh, I got 3 of them.
Okay.
Bane.
Oh, that's the one I saw. That is it. That's the one I saw. I'm like, yes, that is awesome. I like Bane a lot. Yeah,
that one looks good.
Yeah, that's Bane. Yeah, that's the Bane I love right there. Yeah.
I saw the other one and no, I don't like it.
And not from Planet Ron, Swamp Thing.
Yes, exactly. See? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm digging these. I like them.
This reminds me of the guy from Mage Knight, Mike, right? Remember the big guy that looked just like that? Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Okay, well, I'm shocked. I thought you guys would give this another, nay, like you did the Jokerized stuff. But
now I'm feeling this one a little bit more. Is that how you're feeling on it though? You don't like them either?
I don't like them either. No.
Okay. Even this Swamp Thing you don't like?
No. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not something I would rush out to purchase.
Definitely better than Batman, though, right?
I think Batman's the weakest because it's so non-Batman-like.
Yeah,
Bane. I like Bane just being this monstrosity, and then Swamp Thing. It's kind of par for the course for those two characters. So it doesn't work as well with this, but the way the other two are so good, it makes me like this one. So yeah, these are cool. I like them.
It was funny because I watched the video of Todd showing these off, and he once again referred to Batman as sassy.
Sassy. I don't think he knows what that word means.
I think I'm either living in a deja vu right now, or you mentioned that before too. Like
yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
He likes to talk about how sassy Batman looks for some reason.
See it. Nah, never mind.
All right.
Away his Batman rights for saying that.
$20. These are worth $20 to me. I mean,
And I am thinking they'll show up at Ross for $5.
Nice. I would probably buy these for $5 a piece.
Yeah, I might.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
All right. Moving on from McFarlane, we're gonna go to Hasbro to wrap up the Horizon.
Oh, we didn't
Um,
actually get one last opinion. Karen, what do you think of these?
Karen fall asleep.
Dang. All right, there you go. Oh, she was probably in Pat's in his separate one. Then.
Yeah,
I thought we added those to Pat's as well, though.
Yeah, I thought she fixed that. Oh, see, now I'm gonna get all messed up here.
Oh, geez, what the heck?
I told you guys it's because I don't my click time is like I have like barely half a second to get to what I want to pick. So I'm trying to get back over and I can't. I don't know if anybody else could do it for me at this point because it seems like it's not even working for me.
What do you want up?
There we go. Somebody did it.
Oh, you just wanted to change over. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So Hasbro's in the news lately because they went through another round of layoffs right here near Christmas time for their employees in Rhode Island. So things aren't going too well in Hasbro town.
Yeah, imagine you lay off during Christmas time. Daggone.
Yeah. But they did have a lot of new product to show. We'll start with Captain America Brave New World figures. We have a new Falcon. And these are all deluxe-ish figures that are coming in at $40 retail. Because they're coming in with a lot of pack-ins or they're oversized figures, which you'll see here.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah. So we got Cap. We got the new Falcon. Spoiler alert.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You know, the problem here is I don't know if you heard the whole thing about the Happy Meal toys,
No, I haven't.
months ago, because the movie was pushed back so much. They have all this product and their Happy Meal toys came out and spoiled stuff. And I guess Hasbro's like, well, let's just show the figures because the cat's out of the bag. Or in this case, the Red Hulk's out of the bag because, although he was in the trailer. So,
Yeah.
Comments I'm seeing about this Red Hulk is you're not seeing the Harrison Ford likeness.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Is that side head supposed to look like Harrison Ford?
Yeah. So those, like I said, all deluxe coming at $40. If you want something a little more expensive, this was surprising to me, but it seemed to be a big hit. I think it's really cool, especially because they did a HasLab a couple years ago for the big deluxe Sentinel. They're doing an X-Men 97 Sentinel. He clocks in at 22.2 inches and a $175 price tag.
Daggum.
So he's in scale with the 6-inch Marvel Legends figure there. You can see
that's really cool though. That's a lot though. Daggum.
Yeah. Much cheaper than the $350 HasLab Sentinel. And this is closer to this works as Sentinels out of the comics, the 70s, 80s Sentinels, spot on, I think.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
There you can see he has a couple little swap out parts, but he's very nicely articulated. I didn't include a lot of pics, just the 3 here, and there you can see him with some more X-Men surrounding him.
That's great. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to Star Wars, and we got a lot of Star Wars, so we run through them quickly. And I know your family was excited to see a few of these. So we have in the Black Series, Luminara.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
And Shakti.
Yes. Finally. Yes.
And don't forget.
Only took 18 Darth Vaders to get these ladies out.
Right. Oh, and we can't forget Sabalba.
Oh yeah, I love
Sabalba.
Nice.
And those are $25. That $25 typical is the norm right now for Star Wars Black. And then we got a more deluxe figure. I guess they can decide to charge more for the more oversized now. And that's Savage Press, who looks really cool in my opinion.
He is awesome. Definitely. One of my favorite unsung heroes. I mean, villains. You know, he's
yeah, those I think those were some pretty strong announcements from the Black Series.
yeah.
And then we've got some vintage series. Again, these are $17 retail currently. Got Aura Singh.
Nice. I've got her though in a couple other ways. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Chopper with Imperial Disguise paint job.
Oh, that was cool. Nice.
Got Dr. Evazon from the
No.
Cantina because they're getting ready to get that HasLab out there.
Right, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No one wants him though, unless they have the HasLab. Right.
Right. We've got Jod No Wood from Skeleton Crew. I think there's more Skeleton Crew coming, but I think this is the first one actually put up for pre-order.
I don't know anything about that yet. Yep.
That's the Jude Law character there.
Yeah.
And we got another Obi-Wan.
Can you go back to real quick? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who does that? Who does the figure look more like than Jude Law though?
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey, right? He looks like Kevin Spacey. All right, nice. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
We got an Obi-Wan. We've got Lieutenant Callahan from Ahsoka.
Nice.
Blinking will miss her, I think. We got a Snowtrooper coming back out for your army builders.
That's I don't know. It's like if you don't have a million snowtroopers, it's like I love snowtroopers, and I've got like 9.
Yeah.
So I don't,
We got Yord from the Acolyte. And wrapping it up with a deluxe figure of Sabine and the Howler.
No. I want that Howler though.
Of course, like most these days, she comes individually carded inside the box with the Howler. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want that Sabine because she's got the helmet. Nice. Oh. See, that drives me nuts though. This is what happened with me with the Biker Scout and the speeder bike. Came packed.
Yeah.
So I basically had to go through the suffering of deciding to open a package or not twice.
Yep.
We talked about that before.
Yeah.
I like that Howler pose at the top of the packaging too with her helmet on. That's cool.
Yeah. And finally, to wrap up the Horizon and Hasbro this week at New York Comic Con, they announced the next HasLab.
Uh-oh. Okay. So you said no G.I. Joe. You said no G.I. Joe today. So that was a hint.
Yes.
Mike, what do you got for HasLab?
I'm going to be I'm going to generalize. I'm going to say an X-Men character.
No, because we've already covered Marvel. We've already covered Star Wars. There's no G.I. Joe.
Alien.
What does that lead?
Think about my tease.
What was your tease again?
Oh, Ghostbusters. Right?
Ghostbusters.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
This is the Ghostbusters Plasma series, which is their 6-inch line, like Black Series or Marvel Legends. Ectomobile. And there's 2 versions. Base model on the left is going to run you $325.
Ooh.
And the deluxe model on the right is $400. So you're getting a much bigger bang for your buck for that $400.
Yeah.
That's if you're gonna go for it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, are these pictures just different, or are they actually different sizes too?
No, they're the same size. They just had to fit
Okay.
more into the.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So they're There they are by themselves there, so you can kind of, you can see that the so the base model comes with the Ecto-1 and the library ghost Slimer, and they were trying to pull trying to rope you in. The Lewis Tolley figure was only going to be unlocked if the whole HasLab funded within the first 2 weeks. So as of right now, there's 30 days left. They needed 12,000 orders, and they're currently sitting at 8,623. But I think the 2 weeks has passed since New York Comic Con, and they announced that Lewis Tolley figure will be included regardless with everyone's order if it funds, and I think it will.
That's Rick Moranis, right?
Correct.
That's an odd choice, right?
I don't know. I think that's sort of like stretch goal strategy. Maybe not the most important character, but a figure that somebody would probably want if they're a Ghostbusters fan.
Okay.
But there's the deluxe model. Of course, it comes with what we already mentioned, plus all 4 Ghostbusters in these dark gray jumpsuits, which is not, they didn't really use them too much, but apparently, they have their fans out there. Plus, you get a lot of different accessories.
That different roof is interesting. What the heck is up with that?
Right. I mean, there was 2 different looks. So, widely varied. So what happens here is when you get the deluxe model, you can basically swap things out. I mean, so far, so much as that the wheels are different, you can't really tell it here.
Oh yeah, there's hubcaps.
Yeah. But they
yeah.
engineered it so you could actually twist the wheels around. It's something about rotating the wheels and making them more accurate to the different versions.
Is it a Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2 things, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when you see the symbol on the second one, it has the.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There you kind of get a scale reference to the person holding it. I mean, it's a big, it's 6-inch scaled figures, so yeah, it's big.
Was it remote control?
It is not remote control. There's a close up of the library ghost. There's a close up of Slimer. There's a close up of the Ghostbusters themselves and their accessories. There's Lewis. You can get a better look. Pretty good likeness, I think.
He looks good, yeah.
It's got a ton of light up features. It's
that's cool. Yeah.
And there it is from the back for you, Kevin.
Nice. I was wondering what goes on that cart. Yeah, all their packs. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, the only and you can't really see it here, but on the Ghostbusters 2 version, they had like the scrolling LCD marquee on the top there. In some of the shots, it looked like that possibly could be an active working LCD screen, but sadly, it's just stickers. There's like 3 different stickers you can choose from. And that's okay. So that's one of the things they're touting with this Ghostbusters Ecto-1 is that the stickers are like static stickers because they can be removed and put back on.
Okay.
I think they actually say like up to like 5 times potentially you could remove and replace these stickers.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm out. That's strike 3.
You always think with those stickers, isn't it when you get them wet, they can be reused or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think you can wash static stickers, but
and then they'll work again.
Yeah,
like they did originally. Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, maybe not originally. I think there's diminishing returns always on this thing.
Right.
Or you can just buy both. Buy 2 of them, and then you can have both versions.
Well,
and actually, if you're a huge Ghostbusters fan with a girthy wallet, it would probably behoove you to buy 2 of the deluxe. Then you could make both Ecto-1s and sell off all your extra parts because that's a big thing with these HasLab projects.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're getting a lot more bang for your buck with the deluxe. Yeah,
for sure. But like I said, it's like 3/4 of the way there already with 30 days to go. I don't foresee it having any problems making its final goal. But yeah, that's it. That was a lot, but try to get through, and that's it for your horizon for the last like 3 weeks.
Well, I'm broke after buying all the stuff Pat sells to us here.
Thank you, whoever did that. Oh my gosh.
Well, awesome. And congrats to whoever the Ghostbuster fan is that's gonna put out the money for that. Because if I was a Ghostbusters fan, it's awesome. But
Yeah.
I don't have the money or the fan enough to get that. So or enough fandom interest. But anyway. All right, cool. So all we got left is the unwrap recap. Dadgummit, which again, I have a video, but I didn't upload my videos. So people are gonna have to wait patiently again for the next episode to see that. I'm sorry.
In defense, we've only had 3 or 4 weeks, so
I know I only had all kinds of time, but I did most of my stuff for this show in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
So sorry about it. But anyway, we do have a surprise for the recap inbound though. So stay tuned. All right, awesome. So the surprise is Karen's going to participate.
Nice.
How about that?
I like it.
The audience will finally get to see Karen, sort of. So Karen, did you want me to put you up now, or you want to wait until after we're all done? We'll go. Can you see what she's doing there, guys?
No.
Oh, I have my large screen.
Okay. All right. Well, so yeah, I think she's saying she'll go after us. So, Mike, what do you got?
Right. Well, Cora's going to open it. This is Uzumaki.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with any of
Familiar with the creepy commercials they've been showing.
Yeah.
Well, while she opens that, so they did a 4-episode anime for it, and they put all this money and effort into the first one, and it's beautiful. And then it's like, okay, we have 2 options. We can just stop here, or we can put out a lesser quality animated version, or episode 2, 3, and 4. So that's the route they went, and everybody's like, it's so drastic. I guess we haven't watched it. Have you watched it?
I've seen videos. It's bad.
Well, this is what I heard. I heard they originally put it out in 1965, and then they lost all kinds of funding for the later episodes. So they started a tradition of their later episodes getting worse and worse because of what happened originally in 1965.
That's Godzilla. Oh wait, no, that's not.
All that was made up. That's fake news. Sorry, people. I just wanted to go off on a tangent there.
All right, so let's see what.
All right, let's see what you got.
What is this?
Oh,
It's that one.
hold on.
That's pretty cool. You forgot, Cora, we have a tradition here. You got to guess what you're getting. Got to guess what you're getting before you show us.
Well, I already knew what I wanted to get.
Well, that's what we all usually say we're hoping for anyway. Yeah.
I was hoping for that one.
Oh, yeah. So this is Wakabashi. It looks like a Wakabashi.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a recap to go with that unwrap?
I always sleep on the recaps now because I just put everything into this.
Hey. right, what you got, Pat?
I kind of failed, so I had to dip into the DC Nano figure well once again. So
Okay.
I have a bunch of these. I'd like to get Flash here
Okay.
or Batman. Flash is in a running pose, just so you know.
Really?
As far as recapping, I would say that I'm glad we finally learned that Gandalf is a grand old elf. After all, oh my gosh!
Oh, nailed it. Nice
That's actually
job.
pretty funny.
He is running too. I thought you were.
Doesn't have much of a nose, that guy.
No. That's a better running pose than that McFarlane one, though.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
Yeah.
All right, I grabbed these because I'm not really into. I'm trying to downsize. I got a lot of stuff. So I figured with these, I would kind of get things that I think other people are interested in. So actually, I got this thinking if it's something cool, that probably Mark would want it, which the way Mark is, probably anything in here he'd probably want, because this is the Squeezy Mates Legends 2025. And on the back here is Troy Polamalu. Got a bunch of other punks that we don't care about on the front. But yeah, so this is what I'm hoping for. Troy Polamalu.
Right. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. And
Pat, I like your thing in the background there.
Oh yeah, I those used to be Star Wars fighter pods, but I recently took them all down, and it's newer stuff up there now. So I'm kind of filling it in with the unwrapped recap stuff.
I like that.
You got the fighter pods?
Yes.
All right.
Don't be a brown. Don't be a brown.
If it is, you can stomp them.
Okay. Boom.
Is that Joe Montana as a Kansas City Chief?
No, it's Dawson.
Oh, Len Dawson. Okay. Yeah, I guess he's more legendary chief than Montana. That's cool.
Yeah, I knew it Montana and Kansas City 1 year. Yeah.
One of my favorite Super Bowl pictures ever is Len Dawson on the sidelines smoking a cigarette.
And it is, these are squishy too. These are like the squishy, what are those popular things right now? Squishies? Squeezels? Anyway, so I'll leave that in Xcellar for Mark.
All right, that's cool.
Tell him he's got a Glenn Dawson Chief keychain squishy coming.
Nice.
All right, Karen. I got to make my screen small. Karen, are you ready? All right, here we go. Introducing Karen.
Oh, no.
What you got, Karen?
Oh, look.
That's about it. Like a room.
Looks like a Lilo and Stitch. How do you say that anyway? Dorables? Is that what those
Adorable.
Oh, adorables. Okay.
Why is it spelled like a door?
Because he's peeking out the door.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Ah.
Is that what you're pointing in the back there, Pat? Are those the new Star Wars Dorables?
I got a bunch of Star Wars ones up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I want. Did you see those kits? There's like 30 of them. They got an Ewok Village one, and then yeah, I want those too. Anyway, Karen, sorry, go ahead, interrupted. What are you looking for, Karen?
I love Stitch, and they're all gonna be. My choices are Stitch only,
Okay.
so it's a good to go.
Oh, this isn't even Lilo and Stitch. This is just Stitch.
Just Stitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
We got a little adorables. Oh, so I can keep track of my collection. Let me see. Oh, surfboard neon.
Surfboard neon Stitch. that what you said?
Yep.
Huh,
Oh,
was
yeah.
that? I never even knew he was ever that color.
He's not. They're neon.
Huh.
Neon series.
Oh, and I forgot to say in my recap, definitely check out. There's a lot of new good animation and some not so good animation. And don't believe the haters about the Rings of Power. And you want some classic Wolverine. You got that in Volume 8 Wolverine as well. So I got no clever quips. You got any of those anymore, Mike?
No, that's why I came up with the idea that we open things so I didn't have to do that.
Okay, good. Okay.
I got one.
All right, Karen, what you got?
Stay away from Wendigos.
Stay away from Wendigos. Fair.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for your hands guest starring on this episode. We'll do that more regular, and I'm sure you'll probably work out what's better for you to reach around and do your.
You need a thing for both arms.
Yeah, you need an opening for
Wow.
both arms,
Yeah, there you go.
and you need something to see. You need to be able to see it while you're doing that too. Hey, just like everything else we've ever done on this show, we got to work out the kinks after you do it a few times. But
Yeah, I
thanks.
put it together 5 minutes this morning before it started.
Okay.
Yeah, I did pretty good for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Thanks, Karen. All right. So yeah, we flew right through that. So let me fly right through this ending because that's how I do. Unless you guys had something else.
No.
Nope, I'll think of something after the show probably, but go ahead.
Okay. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications. Check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics. You can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. And then you can watch Cover Combat 10 Blue Chip Edition Round 3 this coming Monday, 8 p.m. That's November 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live, which that one's a lot of fun. I'm loving it. And then you can join us for our next live stream on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook on Saturday, November 16th at 8:30 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. And then follow us on all the typical places to follow, all under at Xcellar Comics. That's how I'm going to close that out. So. But please do so. I feel like we've been stuck at our current sub rate for like 2 years.
Yeah, it feels that way, right?
Yeah. That'll do it. Corey, you got anything else?
No.
Mike, do you have anything else?
Nope, I'm good. I'll see everybody Monday.
Patrick, oh, actually, I've got something else. I'm going to interrupt myself. If you noted, I went back to our old intro at the beginning of the show with Whatnot and the podcast. I figured out the podcast, so the podcast will drop no later than Tuesday for this episode. And I'm definitely going to have a Whatnot show next week. So both those are coming back in season 5. I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to do it at least once. I'm going to do a Whatnot show at least once every other week. So it'll be basically opposing weeks of the show. So show, regular show, Whatnot show, show, regular show, like that. You know. So
What day for the Whatnot?
it'll
Friday?
always be Friday night. Yeah, Friday night.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I should have. We should have worked all that out. We were running late. All my fault. So kinks.
Sorry.
We've only been doing this for 25 years now. Still working out the kinks. So, all right. Appreciate everybody checking us out. Been a lot of fun. We're happy to be back. And until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome. But reading a story is also fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.